Hello, everyone. I'm Bo from Brutal Commentary, and today I'm going to be breaking down the main event for one Fight Night 39. In our main event, we have a bantamweight Muay Thai clash, or 145 pounds, as Rambolek Tor Yotha will take on Abdulla Dayakaev. So for this matchup, you basically have two Muay Thai fighters that's at one uses composure, the other intensity. Both fighters are willing to engage, but they do so with very different priorities. One relies on balance, timing, and traditional range control, while the other looks to impose himself through pressure and physicality. And under Muay Thai, those differences are hugely significant. It's also going to just be in general a great main event. Now, it's a little surprising. Before I get into this, I'll say this: I'm a little surprised there's no title fight on this card. As usually, one fight nights at least have title fights. In fact, the one for next month in February has two title fights on that card. And when I break down one fight night 40, I'll talk about those fights when I get there. But it has two title fights. This doesn't have any. That being said, like I said, it's a great matchup, great main event. Two young prospects in one's bantamweight Muay Thai, right? And like I said, both very more or less young in their careers. Obviously, they have a lot of fights. It's because it's Muay Thai, but like I said, both relatively on the younger side of fighting. But with that being said, let's get down to the breakdown. Rambolek Tor Yotha. He's a fighter who embodies traditional Muay Thai fundamentals. His stance is upright and balanced, allowing him to check kicks, counter cleanly, and remain composed during exchanges. He doesn't rush forward or give ground unnecessarily. Instead, he holds his position and forces opponents to step into his preferred range. Offensively, Yotha is measured and efficient. He uses his punches to set up his kicks very well. Jab, rear leg kick, or jab cross, switch kick. That kind of that more traditional combinations you'll get for whatever hand you finish your combination off with. Let's say if it's the hook, my lead hand, I fire off the rear kick. Or if it's my rear hand, you fire off your front foot. You fire off a kick from your front foot. Particularly though, a lot of Yotha's kicks, particularly to the body and leg, rather than chasing combinations just for their own sake, his strikes land with visible effect, and just as importantly, he remains balanced after throwing. That ability to strike and immediately return to stance plays a major role in how rounds are scored. As I've said before, the way Muay Thai is usually judged is how you can throw your combinations and then return and and just balance. Like I said, optics really matter in terms of the judging. Now, one of the biggest strengths too for Yotha is timing. He is very comfortable waiting for his opponents to commit before responding. And when pressure comes forward, Yotha meets it with counters that land cleanly while he stays planted. And those moments of clear control will often stand out for sure. And also usually lead to most people assuming he's the one in control of the fight. Now, looking at Dayakaev, sorry if I got that name butchered. Abdulla, I'll just say that, brings a much more aggressive approach. He looks to move forward, close the distance quickly, and force exchanges, and Abdulla's style is built around intensity and volume, aiming to overwhelm opponents and disrupt their rhythm. Abdulla throws with intent, often stepping into range with combinations that push his opponents backwards, and he's willing to take risks to stay close and keep the pressure on. And when that pressure is effective, it can make the fight feel chaotic and physically demanding. However, that aggression can come in a cross. In Muay Thai, forward motion don't always score well if it isn't paired with balance and clean technique. And when pressure leads to overextension or poor posture, it creates opportunities for composed counter strikers. In my nose. So I say this: the stylistic clash here is clear. Abdulla wants to compress space and force the exchanges, while Yotha wants to maintain structure, meet pressure with timing, and stay balanced after every strike. And in Muay Thai, balance and visible control often outweighs sheer aggression. If Abdulla steps in without setting his feet, he oh sorry. If Abdulla steps in without setting his feet, Yotha can meet him with clean counters and well-timed kicks. Each of those exchanges reinforce Yotha's composure and control, as well as help him land the much more effective strikes and more damaging shots of the fight, especially those body kicks. And the clinch is another important factor. Yotha's posture and awareness allows him to engage and disengage the clinch from the clinch on his terms. He doesn't linger in unfavorable positions, and he's very difficult to sweep. That makes it, I think, even harder for Abdulla to impose his physical dominance in close range. Now, how I likely see this fight playing out, I think early Abdulla's pressure could create moments of intensity. His forward movement may test Yotha's ability to establish range and rhythm. And if Yotha is slow to settle, those early exchanges could be competitive. But I think as the fight progresses, Yotha's efficiency should start to tell. His ability to check kicks, counter clean, and reset to stance will gradually slow the pressure. In each failed entry, he forces Abdulla to reset and break moments. I think over time, the difference in composure and balance becomes more apparent. So for my official prediction, I'm going to pick Rambolek Tor Yotha. And I'm going to pick him via clear decision in this one. I just feel like a matchup where traditional Muay Thai fundamentals just have the clear advantage. Abdulla brings aggression and intensity, and I do think he's going to catch Yotha. I mean, I would be surprised if he didn't. But I just think Yotha's balance, timing, and overall, like I said, his just sound fundamentals are going to win the day. There's something I always believe in. Fundamentals win fights. Now, again, both are still young. They both have room to improve, but you see it more times than not when it comes to striking disciplines. The ones who have, now I'm not going to say master. I'm not going to go that far, but I'm going to say the ones who have cultivated their fundamentals to a higher level are often going to win over the more aggressive and fighters who rely on attributes than skill. So once again, I'm going to pick Rambolek Tor Yotha, and I think he's going to win a decision in that one. But with that being said, this has been my breakdown of this matchup. If you liked the video, like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below on who you think is going to win. But until then, I've been Bo from Brutal Commentary, and remember, stay calm, stay respectful, and enjoy the violence. I'll see you all next time.